Hello everyone. So this is the lesson about NumPy that I have missed somehow in my last video. There was lesson 22 was uploaded twice, so this was missing there. So this is my GitHub repository link, and I'm explaining everything from there directly. So this is NumPy. NumPy stands for Numerical Python. This is a library that we use to handle multidimensional arrays and matrices. So, what is multidimensional array? So, that means that when you work with arrays that can have 2D or 3D, it can have in metrics or in different forms as well. So, to work with NumPy array, we import our library as we have imported before as well. That is NumPy, and we call it with a short name that is NP. So we import NumPy as NP. So whenever we call any method or function that is in the NumPy library, we call it by writing NumPy dot and the method name. So NumPy generally used to work with same data type. So it's like a list, or you can say it's like a nested list in Python, and works again with square brackets as we define our list in Python. So in the list, you can store multiple data type values in a single list, but NumPy array works with same data type in one list. So you cannot have multiple data types in one list. So that's why sometimes to work with NumPy array becomes faster because it handles same data type values in one series or one array. So here you can see how we define our array. Here array name is there, that is the array object or variable. Then we call function name np.array from numpy library, and then in the parenthesis we give our values that we want to give to our array. That is the way we define our numpy array. So as I told you, it's a ND array because it's multi-dimensional array. It can be in 2D, 1D. It can be in 2D, two-dimensional, and it can be 3D as well. So first we will import our library, that is import numpy as np. Then here we are defining our array, that is array 1, np dot array 1 2 3 in square brackets within the parentheses. When we print it, you can see that array is created. There is another way for defining our array, that is arrange method. It takes a starting point, ending point, and interval as argument, and it always returns one dimensional array. So here if you see, we have np dot arrange method, and this is our array underscore a. Here we have given our numbers, but if you notice, before we give our numbers in square brackets, but here we are just defining our numbers with comma as a separator. And when we print it, you can see it's printed in a list. Why we didn't give it in the square brackets? Yes, because there is a starting range that is 3, that is the ending range that is 17. So there will be numbers that starts from 3 and ends with 17, and 2 is our interval. So this is not the value of our array, this is the range of our array. So here it's printing with the interval of 2, so it means every alternate number will be your array starting from 3 till 17. Now there is another method to create array, that is line space method. It also takes starting point, ending point, and also it takes number of elements. That means how many elements you want in your array, how many values you want in your array. It also creates one dimensional array. So here is another example, array underscore l, and I'm calling line space method. where you can see it's a starting point, this is the ending point, and this is, it means I want 5 arrays in there. So there you can see when we print it, there is one array 2, then it's 6.5, then it's 11 point, then it's 5.5, sorry 15.5, and then it is 20. So it starts with 2 and it ends with 20, and it has 5 elements. So basically it divides numbers according to the elements or values you want in inside your array. Now if we define our two-dimensional array, what we do, we create list inside list. So how you check if it's a one-dimensional array or two-dimensional array? You check the starting brackets, there are two brackets, and ending brackets, there are two brackets again, so it means it's a two-dimensional array. When it is starting is one bracket here, one bracket here, so that means it's 1D array. And if it's three brackets here and three brackets here, it means 3D array. So it is basically list. One list is 1D array, list inside list is 2D array, and if you find list inside list, that means 3D array, and so on. So you can create from 1 to multi any number of arrays, 4D, 5D, or 6D, and many more. So here is our 2D array where we have list inside list. So first list is 1, 3, 5, and second list is 0, 2, 4. So here when we print it, you can see our 2D array has been created. If we talk about multi-dimensional array, that means more than 2D array. So here we have first list that starts here and ends here. Then comes our second list that starts here and ends here. And then here comes our third list. So it starts here and here. So it has list inside list inside list. So we create 3D array, and here you can see. So here in this array, 3D array, our first value of 3D array is this. If you say index value, or second index value of our 3D array is this. So it has two values, right? So now here we can create our array from tuple as well. So if you don't give values here in square brackets, if you give your value as a tuple here, what it will do, it will create an array and created it, make it in a as a list here. So you can create arrays by these different methods: multi-dimensional array and 1D array. Now you can create list also with random numbers. Here, what how you use it? Random dot rand method you use to define your array, and at the number you define here, it will decide you want to create a multi-dimensional array or 1D array. So here two numbers are there, that means row and column. So that means this is 2D array. Here there are three numbers, so that means row, column, and depth as well. So this is multi-dimensional array, 3D array. So here is the example. There is, we are creating new array here with np.random.rand method, and here we give our number 3. That means it is 1D array. There is just 3 rows, no columns here. So first row is this, second row is this, and third row is this. So this is our one-dimensional random values array. If we want to create 2D array, that means two-dimensional array with random numbers, we have given here two values. So first will show your rows and second will show your column. So here you can see it's first row, second row, and third row, and there are two columns. One is this and the another one is this. So there comes 2D array. When you want to create a 3D array, you provide three numbers. So one will show your row, another one will show your columns. It means how many lists you want in one array. And then the third will be how many uh, copies or depth you want. So here you can see it has three columns in the picture. You can see it has four rows and it has two copies of it. So here this is the first value and this is the second value of your 3D array. So these are two elements are here. And then there is one, two, and three columns, right? Now, if we go down there, there are few attributes that you can use for different results or answers if you want to get from your NumPy array. For example, shape that tells you the shape of your array, how big is it, and dim will show you the dimension of your array. If you are working with large array and you don't know what is the dimension of your array, by using ndim attribute, you can find out the size or the dimension of your array. So here, for example, I'm using first array, array1 dot ndim. It is showing me that it is 1D array. Then I'm using, if you remember, we used our line space to create one dimensional array, and that array name was air underscore l. And you can see here it is one dimensional array. You can get it from ndim method. You can also define dimension to your 1D array to make it multidimensional or two dimensional. So here, for example, I have created an array and here I pass only one list. So that means it is 1D array. But here in the argument, I am giving ndim equals to 4. That means I want this as a four-dimensional array. When I print it, you can see there is four dimension, four brackets here, four brackets here. And when I use ndim method, you can see it is showing also that it is four-dimensional array. You can also change data type of your array by dtype method. So here np.array, I'm creating these three elements in the array 1, 2, 3, and here I have defined my data type of my array is complex. So whatever value I define here, when you print it, it will show a complex data type in your array. So you can define your data type as well while defining your array. With shape method, shape attribute, as I said, you know what is the shape of your array, and with size method, you can find the size of your array. So here this is 2D array with the shape 2 rows and 3 columns, and the size of your array is 6. Now here there is another method called reshape. So what reshape method will do? We can add or remove dimension or change even number of elements in each dimension. So here you can see I have created a 1D array from number 1 to 12. But I want this 1D array into 2D array. So how will I do it? With a reshape method. Here I have shown that I need 4 rows and 3 columns. And when we print it, you can see 1D array has been changed into 2D arrays with 4 rows and 3 columns. You can even change the same array in 3 dimension by giving 3 arguments in reshape method. So here I want 2 rows, that is 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 3 columns, that is 1, 3 and 5, and 2 elements in my 3D array. You are also allowed to have one unknown dimension. That means if you don't know the dimension, how many dimensions you want, you just know that how many rows and columns you want, then you can pass row and column argument in your reshape method, and by -1 you can, you are unknown to define the dimension. So what it will do, it will generate the dimension by itself. So here it has two rows and two columns, and it has created 3D array here. You can also flatten your multi-dimensional array into one by using reshape method with passing negative argument here. So if I, here is the new array with 3D dimension array. If here I'm creating new array that is flat array, new array dot reshape, and if I pass -1 as an argument in reshape, when I print it, you can see it has flattened in 1D array. So I hope you understand it. If there is any confusion, any doubt, please write me in the comment box and I will explain it with more example. In the description box, there are also link of previous videos and also GitHub repository link through which I have explained you this lesson. So please write me your comments how you like this video, and if there is any difficulty in watching this video or hearing my voice or anything, please let me know.